Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm sure we're going to have other folks join us, but for those of you who are on time, we're going to go ahead and get started. Um, so I appreciate everybody being here today. And so a couple of things on the agenda for today. As you can see, Morgan Gillipoo, is that correct?
It is
Morgan
Gilbo.
Gilbo. I wasn't even
Yes, there's a
close.
lot of extra vowels in there. No, all good, all good.
Wasn't even good. So, Morgan, you want to just say hello, and then we're going to turn it over to you in just a couple minutes to give us an update. But just who you are, please.
Yeah, of course. So my name's Morgan Gilbo. I'm one of Senator Kelly's legislative assistants here in the Washington, D.C. office. So originally from Arizona, the Phoenix metro area. I'm from Chandler originally. And I handle a wide variety of issue areas and topics for Senator Kelly, including telecommunications. I won't bore you with the rest, but so just here today to provide a little bit of an update on some of the things that are happening in the telco space here in DC. I will. Do you want me to go into it all right now,
No,
Steve?
no,
Or
we'll
okay,
get back to you in just a couple
okay,
minutes. We're just doing some brief introductions and welcomes. So,
perfect.
thank
Well,
you.
thank you for having me. Of course.
You bet. Thanks for being here, taking the time, Morgan. And we'll get you on early in case you have to take off. I know you got lots of stuff happening there. Jessica, do
Thank
you want to introduce yourself, please? I think you've been here before, but I tell people I have a good memory, just a little short.
Am I the
There you
only
go.
Jessica here?
Yep.
My name is Jessica Breen. I am the previous owner of Rincon Wireless, which was recently acquired by Hawk Networks down here in southern Arizona, Vail, Corona, East Tucson. And so just this is actually my first time in this meeting, but I have familiar names, longtime resident of Arizona and involved in the education realm as well. So I'm happy to be here.
Sounds great. Thanks for joining us this morning. Silas, you were waving to somebody. Were you saying hi to somebody?
Yeah, no, Jessica partnered up with us. We're with Hawk Networks, so
Yeah.
she's kind of partnering, reaching out to school districts and some other anchor institutions in and around the Gila and Greenlee counties to look at the networks we're building out over
So
there. So
I
I'm,
assume
I'm,
that's how she found us.
yeah, no, 100%. I drug her into this. I said there's a bunch of good people you should meet in here. I appreciate you
Cool.
giving us the opportunity to introduce
Yeah.
ourselves too.
Well, thanks for joining us again, Silas. And Melanie, do you want to introduce yourself real quick, please?
Certainly. Hi, everyone. I'm Melanie Escher with the Arizona Telemedicine Program, Southwest Telehealth Resource Center, based here in Tucson at the University of Arizona. My predecessor was Janet Major, who some of you may know. She has since retired, and I've been taking over the distance education and event coordination for our networks.
Great. Thanks, Melanie. Thanks for being here. We look forward to collaborating with you. And let's see, we have anybody else who's new this morning? I don't think so. So, Sarah Jane, I think I've got you on my list finally.
Yeah,
Okay,
I was able to log in today and yep, thank you very much for that.
cool. Sounds good. Okay, let's go. Okay, so let's just jump into it. And Morgan, I'm going to turn it over to you for whatever time you need. You're on.
Great. Thanks, Steve. And good to see you all if I've met you before or meet you all for those of you who I haven't. And I'll drop my contact information in the chat after I finish speaking, just so you all have it if there's ever anything that we need to be aware of. My email is always open, always happy to chat further. Um, as you all know, there's a lot happening and across a number of different issue areas in kind of the telco space, some things that we're monitoring. I'll preface this by saying there's a lot happening and there's also kind of like not a lot of major updates. Um, but some things that, just want to kind of like let everybody know about. Um, you all are probably familiar with the Universal Service Reform Program Working Group. They just closed on the 15th a request for comments on some proposals for how to reform the USF. This is something that, we're watching pretty closely and will be interested to see and engage with. The Fishers and the Luhans, the teams that are kind of driving that process. Senator Kelly has a bill that would expand the contributions base for the USF to include edge providers and broadband groups to make sure that the contributions base is more reflective of the people who are actually benefiting from the USF. Basically, if you benefit from it, you should have to pay into it. We're also expecting kind of longer term talks about, what Lifeline is going to look like, how we do ACP in perpetuity without relying on annual appropriations. All of that's expected to be a part of that. So we have not seen any of the comments, but we expect there to be some movement probably in the coming months following that comment period. So we'll be watching that. On the FCC front, wanted to flag that the FCC has noticed for their September 30th open meeting that they're going to initiate some probably rulemaking and requests for comments around wireline and wireless like telecom projects. So basically, they're going to seek input on state and local barriers to telecom projects. I believe, sorry, I'm looking here. These will be drafts of the items it's considering at its September 30th meeting. So that's something to kind of like be on the lookout for. I can drop a link to the FCC notice here if anybody's interested in learning more. But the notice of inquiries basically are going to ask about issues wireline providers see in state and local right of ways. So just considering what the barriers are to development, and might be an opportunity for comment on that coming up. The other major thing that I kind of wanted to flag is yesterday, more in the AI front, Senator Kelly released a roadmap on AI called the AI for America plan. Basically a roadmap for some ideas he has around how to make AI work for all Americans. The idea of establishing, kind of like a revolving loan fund, what he calls the AI Horizon Fund, requiring, making sure that companies are thinking about the future of work as it relates to AI, the needs for upskilling and reskilling programs for employees and workers, and also the impact that AI will have on, our natural resources, whether and environmental impacts. So thinking about, the energy impacts, the water impacts. So I will also drop a link to our website that has the plan in here. If anybody's interested, would really encourage you guys to take a look and at some of the ideas that Senator Kelly talked about. Those are kind of the big things. Other things that are happening, obviously, BEAD is still kind of following the benefit of bargain closures. I believe we're up to 39 states, probably more at this point, that have submitted their final proposals without, because I can't remember how many states got extensions. Arizona's has obviously been submitted. We are waiting to hear kind of what the NTIA is going to say about the plan, if they're going to require any changes. We've seen some press reporting just about how the NTIA is essentially holding all of the plans up against a broadband deployment cost model that they've developed. And if the plans don't kind of align with the model, there could be requirements to rebid certain areas. None of that has been confirmed, nor has it been confirmed to apply to Arizona. It's all just reporting that we've been seeing. And then we're also optimistic-ish about what the non-deployment funds. So making sure Senator Capito has been very active in calling for NTIA to fully release all of the funds that states were guaranteed to receive or notice that they should receive under the prior administration. So we're hopeful that that will kind of continue to carry on. And that means, we don't know what the NTIA's plans are for non-deployment, but it is something that we're optimistic about because we're seeing a lot of our friends on the other side of the aisle who are also very concerned about making sure that their states are getting the full benefit of all of the funds that they were promised. So, as I mentioned, we're watching a lot of things and just kind of seeing how they're going to shake out. Don't have like a ton of updates, but those are some of the things that are percolating in the space. So that's really it for me. I don't know if anyone has questions. I can't guarantee to know the
I can give a
answers,
little.
but
I can give a little bit of information what's happening with BEAD because we've got BEAD awards from multiple states. They are pushing back on
Excuse
some
me,
of the
Rory,
higher.
would you introduce yourself, please?
My apologies. Well, I'm wearing two hats. So in the BEAD area, I'm the CTO of Wi-Fiber. And Wi-Fiber purchased Triad Wireless, which I used to own a few months ago. And so now I'm CTO of multiple states. Wi-Fiber has acquired 9 companies total. And BEAD is one of the areas we've been awarded quite a bit in some of these states. They are pushing back on the higher cost areas for fiber, and they've asked for new bids in those areas. The problem is they're higher cost areas, and so there's going to be some negotiation on how they're going to handle that problem because many of these are isolated and it is really expensive to get to them. So anyway, just to follow up on that.
Other questions or comments for Morgan?
Steve, Mark Goldstein.
Yeah, Mark.
Mark Goldstein, International Research Center and chair of the Arizona Telecom and Information Council. Morgan, thank you for the briefing. I'm encouraged to hear your optimistic-ish take on non-deployment funds, big hot button issue that seems to involve as much as half of the $42.5 billion BEAD funding that, had the potential or has the potential of an attempted clawback by the executive branch of the allocations. I, I have seen the spreadsheet for the state's broadband directors. It's internal from NTIA, but it was leaked to the press. I think I saw it on Broadband IO. I also saw it on a call that the Alaska broadband director put it up and shared it with us during a meeting. And it does establish, not firmly, I assume it's some guidance, a 65% threshold under which 65% of a state's applications must be below a certain price point, and 85% must be below a little bit higher price point. And the highest cost per BSL is limited to some percentage above what that 85% threshold is, which, from what I've seen, would not allow some of the really high cost per BSLs that are popping up in certain states. So um, you called it kind of a rumor, but that has been a leaked and now visible actual spreadsheet from NTIA. Again, guidance, not absolute rules, but it's there. So, and it turns out I'll be attending tomorrow a briefing. Senator Kelly is going to be interviewed by ASU President Michael Crow on AI and Arizona's future in a somewhat limited attendance session, I gather. but I will be there along with Kirk Bush tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we're very excited about that event. So I wish I could be there myself, but you'll get to hear all about the plan.
I don't know if you have the capacity to allow other people in that at this last minute, but if you did, you could post the link here. If that's not appropriate, of course, not.
I'm not sure, but I can ask, well, our scheduling team and stuff. I'm
You would
not sure what the
probably at this
capacity.
late date, we're spread
Yeah,
around the state, tickle up only a few people, but I'm sure those people would appreciate it.
sure. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So Morgan, I have a couple of questions about the Universal Service Fund. And you mentioned that the senator has introduced a bill. Um, and obviously the debate about who should pay for it is a big issue. Can you talk about how the bill that first of all, is that a bipartisan bill or is that his bill or what is the status with that? And of course, now they have this working group, and where does that is there intersection with that group, or can you talk a little more about that?
Sure. It is bipartisan. So Senator Kelly and Senator Mullen of Oklahoma introduced this bill. There are a few other Republicans on it. It's called the for Lowering Broadband Costs for Consumers Act, the LBCCA. We love our acronyms. And I can also drop a link to the bill in here. But yes, essentially what it would do is expand the contributions base to require certain companies that meet a variety of like metrics. So whether it be, traffic, and number, sorry, got distracted. I have some stuff popping up on my screen. To pay into the Universal Service Fund in the same. So to basically just, modernize the contribution space. And now I need to refresh myself on all the details because I haven't looked at the text in a bit. But in relation to the working group, so the comment period that just closed was largely for external stakeholders. We are having kind of like staff level conversations with the folks running the working group to talk more about kind of like what their plans are. We did hear, I think there's kind of one of the big challenges around the USF modernization conversation is a little bit of like the chicken and egg. Like, do we do contributions first or do we do expenditures reform first? And that's where a lot of the disagreement is. We have kind of our marker here is on, we can do contributions reform now. We have ideas of how to do so. But so those are some of the specifics, and I can drop again some links in here for folks to take a closer look at what the bill does specifically. But it's really meant to target kind of like big companies like your Netflixes, your Amazons, that are benefiting from the broadband expansion, but not necessarily haven't had any, requirement to pay into it.
So can you want to comment about where the FCC and Brendan Carr, the chair of FCC, and of course now they have a Republican majority over there. Where are they with the senator's bill? Do you know?
They have not, the FCC has not taken a position specifically on the bill. However, Chairman Carr has in the past spoken favorably about the idea of expanding the contribution space in a similar way. That's not linked directly to the bill. But we, believe that it's kind of in alignment with some of the modernization ideas that the chairman, has expressed support for in the past.
Okay. Any other questions for Morgan? Going once, going twice. Morgan, thank you very much for being here. You're of course welcome. I know you're busy, but you're more than welcome to stay on the meeting or if you got to go, you got to go. So again, thank you for being here, and tell
Thank
Judy,
you.
and I'll tell Judy also to thank her for arranging for you to be here today.
Of course, of course. And thank you for having me. I'm gonna try to join some more of these when able. I will have to jump in a few minutes here, but I'll drop a couple things in the chat, including, like I said, my contact information. So if there's ever anything folks need or want to discuss further, or if you have ideas that, about how we fix USF or what we need to be telling the FCC to do, please let us know.
Sounds good. Thanks, Morgan.
Thanks all.
And thank you for being here.
Morgan, can I
Yes.
ask maybe you stay for like 3 or 4 more minutes? Because AI is actually what we're going to be in education and libraries is what my presentation covers.
Absolutely. I'll be on until 11:45 my time. 8:45 your time? Is
Just
it 3 hours?
just catch the first couple minutes and then you can decide if it's worth staying.
Perfect. Will do. Thanks
Thanks.
all.
Sounds good. Thanks, Morgan. So, Roy, because of that time issue, Kelly Crucy, I see you've just joined us. Are you going to be on for a while? Can we put your update a little bit later?
Yeah, I am on until about 10 till.
Okay. So, Rory, why don't we just jump into your update and and give Morgan a chance to hear what you have to say.
Okay, so all right, let me share this real quick. Into the screen.
And I just want to say that we really appreciate, Roy, you've been a longtime supporter and participant with this group, and we really appreciate that.
Oh, no worries. I understand. Thank you. So as many of you know, I was with Triad Wireless for 23 years until we sold out to Wi-Fiber. What most people don't know, we talked about it a little bit, was that Triad was actually working on another company with an AI backend for quite a while as part of the management of our network across Arizona. We've actually spun that off now as a separate division after the sale, and it's a new company called TriadNet Solutions. It's a DBA off of Triad Wireless. Triad Wireless is still an Arizona entity, and this is a new company based off of that. The basic premise is this: we had to manage a lot of devices across large geographic areas, and our customer support was a big issue. We tried to we were in the process of integrating that so that we can centralize it. And then we thought, well, why don't we just take the same application into schools and libraries where they either have little or no local tech support, or they're seriously overworked based on the amount of work, that they have similar issues. Plus, schools have the other problem of monitoring a whole bunch of kids that are very, very imaginative in what they want to do and can do on internet. And so that's why we created TriadNet Solutions. So just to go over this real quickly, and I'm going to do this obviously fast for time reasons, but the idea is that we're basically setting up a help desk and support operation to help either be the primary or the assistant operations support center for schools and libraries. Let's see, jumps. There we go. So I don't know how many of, I'm sure that the vast majority of us have all used ChatGPT or Grok or Claude or any one of the AI agents out there. And in reality, we're all trying to get a handle on what its capabilities are. It's actually pretty scary. You see Terminator, it's getting close from the CPU side. So this is kind of a summary of what we believe it can do to help the network operations. The big issue in this one today, some of the big issues is, and it's the last answer, monitor student activity. We have firewalls, we have simple compliance, but I will tell you for a fact, knowing many students, that they get right through that stuff. And there's always ways to get around those things. Then to make it even worse, we know about students that are just not socially fitting into the area and the problems that's caused. So we've added the ability to actually analyze what's happening onto the system. I'm sorry, monitoring the actual usage on the network to try to put together profiles of students that might need additional assistance or intervention to catch them before anything, before it becomes a problem. Some of these slides I'm going to jump through real quick simply because they're a little bit more technical. I had to use them for another presentation, and but to show you just the core of what's really going on. So this is basically what an AI engine is. I'm not going to explain it here. I just wanted to show you the process or the layers that we use to run and operate, to run the AI. This is actually the core of it, which is retrieval augmented generation. And this is where everything kind of gets sorted out, parsed out, figured out to make sure it's real, as opposed to, a lot of you see a lot of stories about AIs going off the deep end. This is where that gets centralized and kind of cleaned up. You can see, I just use this just so that you can see we do use multiple AIs, plus we have our own servers. That's actually quite important. This is kind of, and again, I'm not going to go into this, but this is kind of what an AI backend looks like from a development standpoint. I can provide this to anybody who wants it. Plus, I can provide an AI education on how this works slide deck too. So just hit me up and I'd be happy to send it to you. But this is where I wanted to get to eventually. Again, because of time, I'm going to jump ahead a little here. But basically, this is the functionality that is the most important as to what applies to a school. It can actually monitor every device. And when I say monitor, I don't mean is something functional? Is it turned on or off? Is it passing traffic? Is the device operational? Are things being connected to the network? And this is another great one that I'm fully aware of with some of our people. Are things being connected to the network that shouldn't be connected to the network? And we can actually catch this pretty close to real time. But the support agent is the core of this. And the idea is that, and I don't know how many of you have had to talk to a tech support department, but I will tell you that 80% of the calls that we always got at Triad were very, very basic, that had somebody simply rebooted their computer or power cycled their router, problem was solved, and we wouldn't have had to waste a lot of time. But and that's really what we're trying to get after, is give the IT people a chance to do the things that are more important for their efforts. The network monitoring agent, this goes beyond just, again, like I say, it's something connected, something not connected. The idea is that, and I don't, if any of you have done IT work, every device on the network is generating log files every second. Every time traffic goes through, every time it makes a change internally, these logs build up to massive amount. When you surf internet, your ISP is capturing every location that you go to. It's part of their network, and we're supposed to keep that for years and give access to that information to the FBI under what's called the CLIA compliance program. Network monitoring agent, like I say, actually can look at the logs and catch a lot more deep. It's basically a deep state analysis of the entire network constantly, something that most places can't really do. The knowledge agent actually tells the CSR, or even better, can actually fix many of the problems before they even get to a customer support or a technical support person. Sorry, my phrases, my acronyms jump a little bit between private industry and schools, so I apologize about that. But the idea is that it has access to everything immediately. I will tell you that we're looking at an 80% reduction in technical support people at level 1, level 2 with this tool. It not only immediately identifies a problem, it can actually, and this is the cool part, talk to the customer or talk to the person who's calling in with the problem, and do many of the preemptive tests before it even gets to a technical support person. And then this is the last part. And again, I will tell you that if you have teenage children or even kids that are 10, 12 years old, they're very good at getting around these rules that the schools put in place. And this constantly watches for that problem. And like I say, what we're doing now is we're actually evaluating the higher risk students and to see if their activity needs to be addressed by somebody else, at some point. We're hoping that once we get this figured out, and we're pretty far along on this, we can tell if a student needs help. And I don't mean educational help, which is again the highest priority, but any other problems that might be occurring with the students or any challenges they have on their day-to-day activity in the schools. So this is just kind of a summary of what the focus of this application of our AI tool is. And again, it's customized specifically for this this target market. Does anybody have any questions and listen, and if you have ideas of stuff we haven't thought of, tell me. Tell me now, and we'll absolutely take a look at it, because with all the imagination that we have internally, we aren't even close to all the things that AI can absolutely do. So, all right. So this is just kind of just kind of gives you an idea of what happens. Call comes in, the AI can actually listen to the call and start working on the problem immediately. And I don't want to put a video up here because it'll take a couple minutes, but watching it in operation, you'd be floored. Stuff that takes 15, 20 minutes, the AI has already figured it out and provided an answer within 3 seconds. It's a whole nother world that we never imagined. But the other part of it is that the AI, and this is a problem with every IT person on the planet, they may be great technically, they're terrible at documentation. The AI will absolutely be able to complete and create much better documentation for future issues, both for itself and for anybody else that's involved. We all understand the concept of the basic general idea of what AI is going to do in terms of efficiency. But until you experience it, you really, it's kind of like saying, yeah, roller coasters are cool, but until you've been on one, you don't realize what an experience it actually is. I will tell you that my eyes opened up significantly the further we got into this project, and this was a long time ago. Now it's going insanely fast. This is literally a logarithmic education process and capabilities of what the tools we now have going in the future. The problem is, like I say, that implementation in the schools is always a challenge, because people, and I will tell you, I had the same problem with our own staff. Literally, it took me 4 to 5 weeks of constantly berating people to use what I was demonstrating internally to get the company on board to really understand. IT people, and you'd think these guys would be behind this, fought me tooth and nail. No, we can do this now. We can do this. This is easy. That's not what happens. There is a very large pushback because people are either scared or worried, and bottom line, they really don't understand what a tool, a properly developed, and that's a key word here, AI application can be. So, all right. So this is, again, we use this slide in a couple of areas, but this is the bottom line. It is probably the greatest tool we've ever had in the IT department ever. And if it's used properly and properly funded, and the good part is E-Rate actually funds this now, then this will take the schools to another level in terms of efficiency and improvement in the services that they can provide. Because if IT people, every time they do something, they might have to roll out 400 or 500 tablets or laptops or do major network changes to make this work. This tool eliminates that redundant and rote work that they have to deal with on a daily basis. This lets them focus on doing things that are in the best interest of students. So anyway, all right, Steve, I made that as efficient as possible. And again, if anybody wants a copy of the deck, it has a little bit more on the back end on the technical side, just let me know.
So Rory, can you back up for a second and just talk about, so you were Triad, now you've made a change. Can you talk about your new enterprise and how, what you're doing besides the AI piece?
So
quickly,
it's really more complicated. We actually, when I had Triad, we actually built a new product line that's being evaluated by some other companies, and as portion of that product line was the AI. And so moving that forward into this, we basically took that program and started this company called TriadNet Solutions. TriadNet Solutions actually does, our focus is education for the first year. We're going to stay in that market. Me personally,
excuse me, Rory, could you stop sharing, please?
Oh, my apologies. Sure. Oh, share. All right, there we go.
Okay.
So this application is actually being used we're modifying it. Well, it's actually being used for support operations for ISPs, networks, cell phone carriers, things like that. It's a very large application. We've taken it and focused it down into education because of the E-rate funding ability and the fact that schools don't have a tool like this. Everybody has more generic applications they can apply. This is being focused specifically on schools and the needs of the students.
Okay. Questions or comments for Rory? Okay.
Right.
Thanks, Rory.
No worries.
Okay, Kelly, are you still here? Kelly Crucy, there you are. Kelly,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Want to give us a latest update on what's happening with the broadband office?
Yes, yes. Good morning. First, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good. Good morning, everybody. My name is Kelly Prusi, Community Engagement Manager for the State Broadband Office here in Arizona. Thanks, Steve, for making time for me. So this morning, not anything new to report. We are in the 90-day window with NTIA after submitting the final proposal draft. So they have 90 days to approve, and this is now a 90-day window of a lot of curing and back and forth. So we're in this window right now, and any updates coming from us or, I mean, at this point, we don't have any updates, but I would say definitely keep an eye on the website for any details there. And essentially, that's it coming from us at this point. That our focus is working with NTIA during this 90-day window.
Okay. Any questions or comments for Kelly? Going once, going twice. Okay. So again, Morgan, in case you have to drop off, thank you again for being here. Really appreciate it. And we will definitely be in touch. If it would be helpful for us to have more discussion with you about any of the bills or any of the questions the senator may have about all this stuff that's happening, we'd certainly be glad to have that conversation with you.
Thank you so much. Thanks again for having me. And I'm sure I'll be seeing you all and talking to you all more soon. Sorry, I have to jump off here, but great chatting with you all.
Good. Thanks. Thanks, Morgan. Appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks all. Bye-bye.
Okay. Any other questions for Kelly? So Melanie, you want to give us a quickie update on what's happening with the telemedicine program these days? We haven't had a good briefing from telemedicine in a long time, so.
All right, well, so the Arizona Telemedicine Program has welcomed our new director, Dr. Finkelstein, and he's got a bunch of, he's brought a team with him. They're doing a lot of research in AI, and he's brought some grants with him as well. So we're in the process of making some moves and adjustments with our working staff and our focus, especially based on some of the goals that the Dean of the College of Medicine has for us. I'm still the distance education event coordinator, and And like being involved with this meeting, I'm getting involved with more of the community outreach meetings that Janet was involved with, and getting some more connections for our community outreach piece. So we've got a lot of webinars, educational webinars. We've got Carol Yarbrough, who's our billing expert. We've got Tara Sklar, who's keeping an eye on policies on the federal side. She's based in the Washington, D.C., the university's Washington, D.C. office. She also focuses on some of the state issues for our region states of the SWTRC, which is Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, and Nevada. So that's it in a nutshell. Any specific questions?
Well, a couple of things, Melanie. First of all, for those of you who don't know, that the Arizona Telemedicine Program is one of the top telemedicine programs in the country. And that's pretty awesome. And certainly we all run a lot to Ron Weinstein for all the great work that he did when he was here and getting that program off the ground. Can you just help people a little bit explain the Southwest Resource Center, which I don't know if they're separate or they're just, I know they're joined at the hip, but can you just explain what the Resource Center is and how it relates to telemedicine program and all that kind of good stuff?
Sure. The Southwest Telehealth Resource Center, we're part of a consortium of 14 TRCs. There's 2 national and 12 regional. We represent the Southwest states, like I said, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada. Where the SWTRC is a subsidiary of ATP. Of course, ATP is housed at the University of Arizona for fiduciary duties. We are a line item on the state budget. The Southwest TRC really focuses on providing technical assistance on telemedicine, telehealth. We've got a lot of resources on the website. I can put the link in the chat. Various resources on getting your telemedicine program set up, different ways to be able to use it. I do webinar series on that's marketed with both ATP and SWTRC. We have a development training on how to develop a telemedicine program, and then different tele applications and services, teleaudiology, telenephrology, teleinfectious disease, telepsychiatry, all the various healthcare disciplines that use tele.
So Melanie, I don't know if you put your contact information in the chat or not, but they do send out a newsletter pretty frequently about things that are happening, events that are coming up, and so forth. And so if you want to be on that list, Melanie's going to give you a link to how you can be a part of that, either her directly or I'm sure there's some place on the website that you can sign up for that.
Let's see. Wrong link here. So yeah, both the ATP and the SWTRC websites have, here we go. Here's our SWT website, and our Arizona Telemedicine Program have a join an email list, and we send out various event blasts that you can see what's going on in our network here, ATP, and here's the ATP. We've got various events, we've got different blogs. Like you said, you received the one about Dr. Algatar, just as different things that we're involved with on our events. We've been starting to put some of the other conferences that we're going to be exhibiting at, engaging with, so people know that we're trying to be out in the community as well and get connected.
Right. And your board, the telemedicine board or advisory board, I'm not sure what it's called, has open meetings that people are welcome to attend.
We do. The Arizona Telemedicine Council has been meeting on a quarterly basis since the inception. And that was also started with assistance from Senator Bob Burns back in the day when it started with Dr. Weinstein. So, but we've been meeting consistently quarterly. We switched from in-person to virtual during the pandemic, but we've maintained our quarterly updates.
Okay. Thank you, Melanie. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully we can see you whenever you're available.
Absolutely. I'll put in the council meeting section of the website as well.
Sounds great. Thank you. So Mala, any updates?
Actually, I think I'll just add to what Melanie was saying about telehealth, because all other telecom updates you already got through Morgan. So a couple of things that we are working on right now. I'm really glad I got to meet Dr. Finkelstein, and he does awesome work and has some really good grants that he's willing to share with us, with the libraries. We're working together on some webinars for libraries, like Dr. Alcatar's and others. The webinars will be conducted in libraries asynchronously if they want to record it and send it, so the libraries can do it whenever they have the chance. He's also helping us partner with nursing schools and with health students who are working in the health areas and their mentors, because libraries really don't have the capacity to expand the program, as well as they're not technically trained to do that. So they are trusted places. So we know people come to the libraries to watch programs like these, but we're working on programming that has minimum work from the librarian's point of view and the library staff, because we're trying to run these in rural libraries with maybe one or two staff. So that's what we're working on. And Melanie, really, I really love to touch base with you on how we can do more together. I'm also working with the Health Education Task Force of AZBSN, that's headed by Lucy Howell. We're working on Force for Health, Fit Fridays program, where community-centered initiatives spearheaded by Dr. Rob Galios. And I introduced the two together. So Dr. Rob Galios and Dr. Finkelstein have had a really productive meeting. That's what I hear from both of them, to encourage individuals to live healthier lives by addressing all of their socioeconomic, socio-ecological factors that affect the health, and it also trying to work on programs that promote personal as well as community health and wellness, trying to address these through educational programs at the library. So that's one of the initiatives that I'm working on. The other initiative I think I've talked about before is a grant that we received from Humana called Potluck. It's people-oriented transportation linkages to underserved communities. That's a mouthful, but Potluck for short, because we all bring different things to the table. And Potluck's goal is to improve access to older adults with low income to have medical care through either in-person or virtual appointments. And we are working with Valley Transportation. They provided a van that would help transport these community members to the library or to their healthcare facility to get their healthcare. So it reduces the need for other community members to take their senior citizens to their telehealth appointments by providing a safe transportation to them, to back and forth, either to the libraries or to senior centers or to healthcare facilities, in order to meet with their doctors or their healthcare professionals. And if they can't, the next step that we are working on is that for those who can't even make it that way, to provide them transportation and the equipment at home with the support of a nursing student or mentor, healthcare mentor, to help them in their homes to meet with their doctors, providing them the hotspots as well as the telehealth medical kits. So working on a number of these right now, and everything is kind of in a seedling stage, so I'm not able to give you more details about it, but I will as we move along. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share this, Steve.
Sure. So, Molly, do you have anything from at the federal level that you want to comment on or not?
Uh, Not really, because Morgan did share a lot, except of course that I don't know how many of you watched the late night CNN show on when they interviewed Anna Gomez about the Kimmel issue. So if you have, that's great. If you haven't, if you could go back and see it if you can.
You want
Thank
to tell
you.
people who Anna Gomez is?
Oh, Anna Gomez is one of the FCC commissioners, and she spoke about mainly about how they want to keep the freedom of speech front and center, and she's not. Um, I mean, she didn't directly oppose anything or say anything against what has happened, but I think she just wants to keep the conversation going on Kimmel and issues of First Amendment.
So, Molly, if I am correct, she is a Democratic
Right.
representative on the FCC. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct. The minority in the team.
Okay, thanks, Mala.
Not a
So
problem.
we have a couple more minutes. Kelly Mukherjee. So Kelly, you're here all the time and really appreciate it. And you always do a plug for AZ1, but I would like to have you do a more lengthy. You've talked a lot in the past about your maps, but you have a lot of other information and resources on that website that I'm guessing that most of these people have no clue about. And so I don't want to do a lot of that today, but I would like for you to share because there is a lot of other information. So you want to just say something real quickly?
Good morning, everyone. Kelly Mukherjee from ASU's Enterprise Technology. Thank you, Steve. We're huge supporters of AZBSN. That's why we're here all the time. And then we're also great supporters of AIDN, Arizona Digital Inclusion Network. So together, our coalitions here in Arizona are very, very important to us as we continue to work on broadband and digital equity. So as one is a web portal that was stood up really for the benefit of this whole group and everybody working on it. So if you have community stories to share or you want to use our broadband maps for data, happy to connect with you. I linked my information in the chat and I would love to meet you all. So if we haven't met yet, please feel free to reach out. Thanks, Steve.
So I will talk to you, Kelly, about having you do a more lengthy view of the other resources besides the maps. I think people are interested in maps, but I think they're interested in a lot of the other resources that you've got going on. So I don't want them to miss out on that. Okay, anybody have anything else that they want to share this morning? I'm
I
going to
just
stop.
wanted to add
Go ahead,
to
Mom.
what, yeah, sorry, Steve. I just wanted to jump in and add to what Kelly said. She's got an awesome storytelling team. And if you're like me and don't have the time to actually write your story out or kind of put it together, put your thoughts together, it's just fun talking to her students because they interview you and they come up with a wonderful piece, that you don't even, that's not even remotely what you could do yourself if you sat down and tried to do it. I think they are professional story writers. Really enjoyed doing those interviews with them, Kelly. Thank you.
I did too. Enjoyed it. Probably gave you more info than you wanted.
No, thank you. It's been a pleasure to interview this community. We want to get your stories out. Everybody's doing great work. And so this gives a chance for workforce development for our students to learn and practice and interact and meet the community and get to know and share all your wonderful stories. So thank you, everybody, for your efforts and participation.
Good. Thanks, Kelly. Okay, I'm going to stop recording and